whoever spends the most money to get the customer is going to get the customer. You'll be lucky to get some people in the neighborhood, but if they see it over and over and over and over and over and over again, what that's going to do, your ad is going to mesh at some point in the brains of your potential customers.
Ideally, we'd like to be at least up to 3 installs a week. So at our price point in revenue, that would be anywhere from $7,500 a week to $15,000 a week.
Find a distributor for these lights that does something that's going to be hard for anyone else to get. So if someone comes to you and says, well, I could just get the lights and do it myself, and you'd say, well, where are you going to get it? Guerrilla marketing is great, but somebody knocks on my door and says that they want to give me a quote for exterior lights. I'll let them give me a quote. Did I come to that conclusion that I'm ready for it? I'm just going to get the quote, and now I know what to do. What's up, good people of the world? Here with Jonathan, my friend from X, who now is doing a business breakthrough. We're talking about his new business that he just launched. Jonathan, man, tell me about the business. What's got you getting into it? What is it that you're excited about? And what are some areas that you feel like I can provide some help with?
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate you for having me. Really cool. We just launched our permanent lighting business
Cool.
called Epic Light. So we offer permanent LED lights that are hidden in the roof line, and basically a homeowner or a commercial property, they can change the scene for holidays, sports, birthdays,
Yeah,
any
dude,
kind of
it's red.
events,
It's
really.
red, white, and blue all over my
Yeah,
neighborhood right now, man. These things are taking off,
exactly.
taking off.
They're taking off. It's a growing industry.
Love it.
Basically, partnered up with a guy who's got 15 years experience building his own fencing business.
Okay.
Um, this past year, we've
With the
kind of been
swords or with the perimeter play.
perimeter. But basically, we knew each other because we started working in roofing together.
Okay.
And this past year, we've been doing some of these lighting installs between a couple other local
Nice.
guys. And we're seeing that, they're killing it, right, with their business. And we're like, we should just partner up and do this ourselves and
Do
kind
your
of
own.
grow it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Margins in the business seem great, anywhere from like, 50 to 70% between materials and labor. So that got us excited about it. We've really just been doing research and trying to learn more about how to launch successfully. So I saw your post on X. You were talking about how to win in your first 90 days. Commented right away, and you're like, "Bro, shoot me a DM. Let's go. Let's hop
Yeah.
on
Yeah. Yeah.
the video call." So
Yeah.
here I am. We're fresh, like we just started this month. We already have our first client. We've got the deposit in. We're waiting for materials to come to fulfill the job. And we just went on our first commercial quote yesterday. So the pipeline's very fresh. And my goal with this is, if we're framing it in 90 days, ideally, we'd like to be at least up to 3 installs a week. So at our price point, that's anywhere in revenue, that would be anywhere from 7,500 a week to 15,000 a week. So really just kind of want to understand, at least from your perspective, like what could I do to set myself up to fill that pipeline
Yeah.
and also build systems so that, I'm not tackling everything on my own from
Yeah,
day
man.
one.
Well, let's start with what do you think you need to do in terms of marketing? Let's see kind of what your thought process is, and I'll try to fill in the gaps.
I'm seeing a lot of people find success in this industry with meta ads because this is highly visual and transformative
Yep.
for a property, which is great, but that's an entirely different skill set from just knocking on doors, you know, door hangers, yard signs, things like that. So part of me is trying to like balance between those two. Like, should it be a run and gun guerrilla marketing of let's just get one install and then plaster the whole neighborhood and start getting in more and more and more business that way? Or try to kind of focus in on learning how to do these meta ads and
Sure.
start filling a funnel that way.
Sure. So let's talk about this for a second. So one leverage point you have that let me just make this clear. When we paint a house, the local area in the neighborhood probably recognizes the house has been painted for maybe 5 days minimum, right? Like it's like after 5 days, it blends in. It's like, oh, that must, people don't realize that. They know, like, hey, man, the house is ugly. And now it's beautiful. Dude, permanent lights. He's got permanent lights. He's got permanent lights. He's got permanent lights. And you see it every day, dude. My wife loves driving around in the golf cart looking at the lights, right? So the leverage there is it's like a domino effect in the neighborhood, and I think that's an exciting thing for you. However, we don't know when that freaking little idea is going to pop in our head when, you know what, we should just get a quote for this, right? Guerrilla marketing's great, but somebody knocks on my door and says that they want to give me a quote for exterior lights. I'll let them give me a quote. But did I come to that conclusion that I'm ready for it? I'm just going to get the quote, and now I know what the number is, right? So that's just me. I would argue that most people are like that because it's a super high want. It's certainly not a need. Like it's probably not. It's 90% want, 10% maybe need. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's not a need at all in my
So
eyes.
yeah, not really at all. It's like it's as low as possible. But
This is definitely a want.
yeah, but the reason I'm saying this is because it shares a lot of similarities with epoxy coating. Besides the fact that in some cases you have customers that need it because they want to protect the concrete. Maybe they work in their garage and there's oil leaking and they don't want that to happen. But for the vast majority, they're selling the want factor. So you're spot on. Meta is the play. Okay. However, it's straight volume. The way you need to think about this is whoever spends the most money to get the customer is going to get the customer. That's it. I mean, you'll be lucky to get some people in the neighborhood, but if they see it over and over and over and over and over and over again, what that's going to do, your ad is going to mesh at some point in the brains of your potential customers with what I'm describing is I'm seeing all my neighbors get it. And it's becoming more and more popular. Has it hit the critical mass of popularity? No. But I think you and I are both seeing, man, like more and more
Yeah.
neighborhoods you go into, especially the cookie cutter neighborhoods, the ones that, with the big national builders, you see them everywhere. So what that winds up happening is people naturally, just because everyone's so busy with their life, dude, they don't know what that is. They might think it's Christmas lights. But then your ads come into play, and then it's just a positioning game. It's not anything other than that. You just need to you just have to position yourself when that time comes for those buyers. And then everything I focus on is how to capture that interest and secure that interest without them backing off and giving you a chance to present.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I guess how would you position this service? Because I'm seeing a lot of people, I've been doing research from different companies across the country that are
Okay.
starting to push permanent lights, and their positioning is centered around permanent holiday lights. Because obviously that makes sense come the fall winter
Right.
season.
So
It's
let
more of
me
a
ask you this.
necessity
Let me
because
ask you
people
this.
are,
Everything, Jonathan, everything's about an angle. Everything. Do you have to have an angle? That's your anchor. So if this were my business, one of the angles that I would take, and dude, this is such a fun business to run ads on. One of the angles I would take is leading up to 4th of July. I'm talking about changing the lights to 4th of July. It's the 250th anniversary of the United States. So that whole marketing campaign leading up to probably starting about 3 months before 4th of July is all going to be about, hey, you need to get your 4th of July colored lights. Let me explain how this works. Obviously, you have to get creative in your ads. So now you're not creating a scenario where it's like, hey, do you want to get colorful lights outside? No, you're anchoring that to an event. And then I'm sure if you and I sat down, we can map out 6 or 7 events that require you to change the lights for them. St. Patty's Day, I think everybody had green and yellow. Christmas,
yeah,
duh. right? So your next stretch is probably going to be, I would go for Christmas. Your whole angle after July 4th should be Christmas. And the whole angle should be, and this is how the cabinet refinishing business took off, because instead of them saying you should paint your cabinets, it's like cabinet refinishing is half the cost of replacing. So now you actually do convert it to a need, even though it's a want. So you might say, well, each year you're going to spend either time or money on holiday lights, or maybe you've never had holiday lights because you don't want to climb the ladder like everyone else. Let us climb the ladder one time, and you can enjoy festive holidays for the rest of your life. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is almost like you almost need to be more of a marketer than a business owner for this, because it's such an emotional product.
That makes sense. I guess, how would I stack back end systems so that as people start coming through this, in terms of sales systems, fulfillment systems, because the holiday season is going to be the busiest. And if it's just me and my partner right now, I know that we're going to need help come the holiday rush. At least that's the goal here, that we have
Yeah,
more business than we can
I love that. If
we
you
can
run
do.
into that problem, just enjoy it. I mean, just get through. You're gonna figure it out with that problem, than trying to speculate what happens when you get to that problem. Don't create a
Mhm.
false sense of reality through just what happens when we get busy. Find something that creates that protects you outside of the holiday season. The holiday season should just be a bonus. You got to
Yeah,
sustain the whole year. Now, in terms of systems, you need automation. I know a few apps that are pretty good.
yeah.
Okay. So with that said, I mean, I'm happy to help you in that area, but I think the goal here is, can you create a marketing funnel that consistently produces results? And are you comfortable spending the amount of money that it takes to nurture and generate interest at scale? And if you are comfortable with that, are you also comfortable with dealing with a lot of tire kickers and creating a sales cycle that is pretty much based on volume? Because based on the numbers you're telling me, generally speaking, you're going to get a lot of people that are just curious about the price. So, do you
Mhm.
have a system in place to ensure that you're getting qualified customers? Um, and that's obviously more of a sales question. But when you
Right.
go wide, when you cast your net wide, that's what happens. You're going to get a lot of people that are just curious. So, in cabinet refinishing and epoxy, two industries I'm very familiar with, you get a lot of volume because everyone loves the idea of a white kitchen with their ugly oak cabinets or their dirty floor and a beautiful polyaspartic coating, but they're just really just wanting a price so they can budget for it in the future. So can you position your offer in a way that gets people to actually move the needle? And that's sales process and a lot of other things along the lines.
So speaking of process in that regard, I've been thinking in terms of creating almost like a virtual quoting system, in the essence of, like, we schedule a call because they expressed interest, and then giving them a range of what something like this would cost for their house. That way it's maybe not a wasted trip to their home. Or do you think it's actually worth it to go
Dude,
in person? And
I think you can create more of a better vetting process. I think, I'm not saying this to be derogatory in any way, but you should probably vet based on income, zip codes, and any data you can gather around that first, because this is usually going to be something in a higher end income area. And you should rely on your closability. If you can get in front of someone, close them. I mean, because again, is it emotional or is it a need? So generally speaking, it's emotional. So you could be just vetting out people by just showing them a price. Like one of the highest anchor points of people scheduling estimates is because they want to know the price, obviously, but we don't want to get it to a point where it's out of control, where it's just like we just become a consultancy on how to,
right.
what the price is. So how you really do that is you try to anchor the service with something else, and I would consider that, because generally speaking, like, here's an example. I'll give you an example. You can go all the way with this, or you could just do one thing, but think through this with me. You have someone that wants exterior lights and you present them a price, let's say $5,000 to do the whole house. Okay. What else could you offer in that arrangement if needed to secure the business that makes sense for the customer and they feel like they get value beyond what it is that you sold them for?
Immediate thoughts come to additional like landscape lights that
Okay.
can complement the, the accenting of the
Okay.
landscape or the house.
Okay.
Since we're going to be up by the gutters, maybe some kind of complimentary gutter check or gutter
Love it.
cleaning.
Love it. That's how you win. It's got to be now
Just
now
stack
you're
value on top of the existing
you're
offer.
at the house. You're up there. How many people?
Yeah.
Nobody. And who's up there? Nobody ever goes up there. Roof check, gutter cleaning. We're going to clean the house first. No one's doing that. Okay, so you get a cleaning with the house. Okay, we're going to give you a tutorial on how to use the lights. That has value. Don't underestimate the power of a tutorial. Okay, and maybe even a decorator, an exterior decorator. And I think these things add extreme value, and they make what seems to be this luxury item, now they can justify it with, oh, well, they're also going to clean the house, they're going to clean the windows, they're going to do all. Now, I'm not saying you need to create all these companies. Do what makes sense while you're there, but just understand that, man, because I feel like that's one of the hurdles you're going to run into is when people get hit with this price, they're just say, well, $5,000 for some lights, so
Right.
it's colorful, doesn't really, I don't know. I might want to go on a cruise this year instead. So how do you create more desire to move forward?
That's a good point. Think of different ways to stack the value that they'd be receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can find it anywhere. Hey, we'll repair that screen. This is just deeper sales stuff. But hey, while we're up there, I'm going to do that for you as well. Like, we're not just a light company. What's the warranty on the product?
5 years on materials, and then for labor, we're thinking at least starting with 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Now, what is the electrical process involved in getting all this set up?
So everything's preloaded. We just we
Just
hook
plug
up
it
the
in.
lights. Yeah, pretty
Cool.
much.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Easy. So there's
it's an
no,
enclosed system. So we just find a location of where the box would live, either in the shed or the garage, or affixed to the exterior by an outlet, and then we do some low voltage wiring for the actual lights to the control box. But other than that, it's
awesome.
super easy system.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be marketing. It's going to be video. It's going to be documenting. It's going to be creating a relationship with your local market. It's going to be creating a system for acquisition. So when you get leads, they're followed up with, or they can book. It's nurturing leads. It's a long nurturing game too. Drip Jobs is obviously great for that. It's a high want business, but you have a lot of leverage right now. It's a hot item, and someone's going to do it. Might as well be you.
Yeah.
Any other
How
questions?
should I?
Yeah.
I was going to ask, based on what we were just talking about, like, how should I think about building like a strong value proposition around the year-round flexibility of the product?
It just depends, man. Different calls attract different people, and that's where the marketing comes in. Again, like, the best thing I can tell you, if this is what you want to do and you want to go all in, and you have a big vision and you want to create branches and maybe even franchise one day, I don't know why, but I feel like you're thinking that. I can tell by the way you're sitting, which I love. But generally speaking, man, like, everything has to do with the system, man. It's got to be dialed. It's got to be one of those things where you're a marketing company, man. Like, that's the biggest advice I can give you is, like, just start off by saying you're a marketing company who markets lights, and you found a way to fulfill the demand for the lights. If you can just adopt that as your North Star focus, you're unstoppable. I'm not getting any Facebook ads for permanent lights right now. I'm not. Maybe I will, because I'm talking about it. I know it's
We
freaking
were
people
talking about it
listening,
now.
but I'll update you if I've gotten any.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I haven't, And I think the reason is because no one's figured out how to scale this thing because they're not focusing on the marketing. Everything's marketing. Everything is, it's the same reason why what apps I sell. It's because you see it over and over and over again. I post about it. I incorporate that with some value. Your customers are thinking the same thing. It's like, why would if I'm thinking about permanent lights, why would I hire you? What is it about you that I need when I'll just go I'll get my handyman to stick it up there?
Yeah.
What you have to think like the average human, like, and just be like, okay, let me have empathy there. Yeah, the handyman could probably do it. Or couldn't I just get on a ladder and screw them in on the soffit?
You could.
So what is the value that you provide in excess of that?
Now you got me thinking.
Well, your customers are going to have you thinking when they say the same thing to you. So it's better to work with me than them. Tell me, like, what? So if you're selling me on these lights, like, why would I pay that much when I can buy the lights myself and install them myself?
I mean, you'd have to do a ton of research just to figure out the type of product. Everybody's promising this thing or that thing. So you'd want to kind of understand what you're actually getting into. Then you'd have to figure out how to actually install it. You've never dealt with wires before. So is that something you want to just leave up to YouTube?
Okay.
You could.
In
And
their
then do you even
mind,
have,
they're saving $5,000, especially if they have a single story home. You see what I mean? So what I want you to think about is how could you create a proprietary offer? One of my
Mhm.
good friends, Brandon, he owns a epoxy coating company. And this is high level, but he actually has his own proprietary polyaspartic formula in Canada that he uses that's patented. So when someone says, well, why don't I hire that company? He has the ability to offer a special warranty that no one else can offer, separating himself, right? So when
Mhm.
you get that, do some research on the lights. Find a distributor for these lights that does something that's going to be hard for anyone else to get. So if someone comes to you and says, well, I could just get the lights and do it myself, and you'd say, well, where are you going to get them? And say, we actually work with the proprietary vendor and they ship these lights to us. These are quality lights and they're guaranteed to last for 5 years. So this is something you won't have to do for a very long time. And one of the best parts about them, they're waterproof. So you don't have to worry about cleaning and the lights getting ruined when you have someone clean your house. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, as a business, try to find a way to get to first outline those objections and then make sure you're well versed on how to handle them, because these are the natural objections you're going to get, and you don't want to pin yourself, into a
Right. Not
hole
have
over
an
it.
answer.
Yeah. And I could tell it's just
Yeah.
new. I'm not trying to put you on the
Yeah.
spot, but bro, start thinking like this. So you're prepared, because like, I'll do it myself. I can get these lights myself. Why would I spend this much when I don't really, I don't really see the value. I mean, yeah, you guys are just hanging lights. Like that's the objection, right? So, and that's the vast majority of people. You will get people that have already made up in their mind. They're like, I want permanent lights installed. It's the same in my business. I have people
With
that
painting.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, I'm hiring someone to paint my house. That's level 2. The next one is, I'm hiring a quality company to paint my house. That's someone that's level 3, and they've already had a bad experience. So for them, it's like, okay, we're in perfect alignment. As long as I'm within a certain range, they're going to hire me. Level 2, they don't know what they don't know. So they might have not experienced a poor paint job to have enough pain to validate or justify hiring me. And we're more expensive. So for you, it's like, okay, dude, first of all, you don't have a lot of people that have been getting permanent lights for the last 20 years. So you have a brand new market. How you do that is speed. You have to capitalize on the interest instantly. You need to convert the lead instantly. And then you need to show up within 2 days and have a closer close them on the idea of why they should hire you. Anchor it with an event. Hey, do you have any events coming up? Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Fantastic. We'll do pink and red. I'll show you how to do it. So when your wife comes home or at night. You can have flowers, walk outside around your beautiful house, and everything's pink and red. This needs to be like every holiday has to have some anchor to it, because these are the emotional levers. I sold a $30,000 painting job. It took me a year and a half to sell it. This lady just went back and forth. She finally bought because she had a huge Halloween party coming up and she didn't want her house to look crappy. So that's when she bought, over the Halloween party. And I knew about the Halloween party and I kept mentioning it. So it's one of those things, man. You just got to kind of find your flow in this. And then eventually, it'll start to all click. Does a lot of this make sense, or is this
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
cool? Just checking. Just checking. Anything else, man,
Yeah.
I can help you with, sales wise, marketing wise? I mean, do you feel like we hit marketing hard? I don't quite know what Google looks like for this. I don't know how many people are Googling it. I think what you might run into with permanent lighting as a search term is that people are searching for it so they can buy it themselves. So
Yeah.
then you're competing with those businesses that sell the permanent lightings. So that's another thing that I highly suggest you think through or work through with an expert on how to position yourself on Google. Thinking, I don't know what the search terms are. I would imagine that the search terms would be holiday lights, to be honest. I think that's like the natural search term. So have you thought about any of that?
Yeah, I think basically what you said. I think people aren't really actively searching for permanent lights because I don't think that they know that it's a thing,
Mm-hmm.
but more so like, oh, I need like Christmas lights or holiday
Yep.
lights, contractor near me. So maybe like hijacking those search terms could be helpful. And like you said, probably more so competing with some of these consumer products where it's like a DIY product where you kind of hang those yourself, which we have been getting when we go to some people, which is like, oh yeah, I've heard of those that other brand. I think it's like Govee or something, and they kind of are now choosing like, do I what you guys do is different, or why can't I just buy these lights? And it's a totally different product. So there's like an
Yeah.
education gap there.
Yeah. And what type? So when you're faced with that, what have you been doing?
Just explaining the difference between the products of
Okay.
like,
So
yeah,
my
you could certainly
suggestion is
do it
my
yourself.
suggestion is literature. Get a brochure. This is the difference visually. When you explain it, it's just hard for people to keep up with it, especially because
Hmm.
they're not as educated as you. Brand your brochure, say, look, these are the differences. Again, you want to come prepared with a game plan. You know the objections, like you know what they are. So provision everything around the objections. So oh, understand, we get that comparison all the time. Let me show you my brochure on exactly what the differences are. And then it breaks down right there. So they can see what the value is. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's good.
So I just think that I love the idea. I'd love to see you win with it. I just also want you to be aware of the fact that like you're entering people into a market. So that's where the marketing agency idea comes from mentally, just simply because, like you said, the search terms are kind of hazy. Like people know they house painter near me. Like that's an easy thing. They're not looking for a permanent light installer near me yet. They might in 5 years, but you have a killer opportunity right now to create a serious advantage on Facebook. If you make the ads nice, you spend money on them, you get somebody who knows what they're doing, document everything, showcase your personality, and highlight the value. Hey guys, 4th of July coming up. We're getting this customer set up. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
cool, man. Well, I hope it's helpful. I really do. I know it's kind of
No, it
vague,
was. It
but
was.
yeah, man. If you ever want to hop
You got
back
some
on,
ideas juggling in my head right now
good, man. Then
of
I
what
did
I
my
got to get
job.
to work.
Yeah, man, get to work, man. I want to see you win. So if I can help in any way, just reach out. And I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.